Hey guys, what's up? How's it going? It's Irish. I have a video, another one, about the Dead Ringer, which you're watching right now, obviously. And the reason for this one is because I feel like my last couple of videos were very one-sided, and it makes it appear that I think that the new Ringer has no positive attributes and that none of the changes made sense, which is not true. I think that some of the changes that were made to the Dead Ringer were logical. For instance, the incorporating in the idea of resistance deterioration, which is where the resistance gradually goes down once you've feigned, is a smart thing. But there are a couple of things that I disagree with, and some things that I'm kind of iffy about, and some things that I would change or polish about this item to really make it usable for spies and very good for spies, but at the same time not too ridiculous for people to try to counter. So let's start off with the resistance, since that's the really big thing that I was saying, oh no on my other videos about. That's still a no. 50% just does not cut it, because a lot of classes are built to just deal ridiculous amounts of damage really fast. For instance, scouts, meat shotting. Just a scout can just deal out 300 damage, like bam, 300 damage. There you go. And there's no way for 50% to at all be adequate for a spy to survive through that. Also, there's demomen launching pills. A lot of the time that I get hit by a pill in Dead Ring, I immediately get hit by a second pill, because the demoman, spams pills. That's what he does. So if he hits you with the first one, chances are the second one that he fired is also going to smack straight into your face before you even have time to move, even with that speed boost. So I really think that the Ringer still needs like 90% resistance. However, the way that I would change it from what it was before was, instead of just having 90% resistance flat rate, I would have 90 resistant. I would change the resistance plot for the deterioration, and let me explain really quickly how this would work. So for the first 2 seconds of feign, this includes the first hit, you would have 90% resistance, like old Dead Ringer. However, as soon as those 2 seconds end, it drops down to 70%, so you lose 20% of your resistance, like in a split second. It goes from 90 to 70. And the reason for this is, again, when you get hit by a second spam shot, it'll protect you better, but then if people intentionally are hitting you, it's going to deal more damage. Okay, so for this, for then 70% all the way down to 50% is how it would deteriorate over the next 4 seconds. So it would deteriorate twice as slow as it does right now, because right now it deteriorates at 10% per second, and it would deteriorate at 5% per second downwards. And I think that this would be a very fair resistance plot, because when you run out of cloak, when you edge on the edge, when you're just running out of cloak, it'd be very difficult for you to not take too much damage to die. So you wouldn't have the thing where, like, you hit them and they take almost no damage, and then you hit them again and they still take almost no damage, and you hit them again and they still take very little damage. That wouldn't happen anymore with the Dead Ringer, and I think that was the most frustrating thing for other classes trying to deal with Dead Ringer spies, were that they felt like they could never damage them as long as they had their Dead Ringer. Like, even if they had already feigned with it, it was just so hard to damage them. And I know what this feels like from a spy's perspective, because it took 3 backstabs to kill a Dead Ringer spy. 3! The backstabs deal, 6 times the player's health. That's insane, They're a one-hit kill, and they're a one-hit kill against players who have 5,000 health. It doesn't matter how much health you have. And, it took 3 backstabs. One to feign them, the second one would bring them about halfway down, and then the third one would kill them. And it was just so insane. It was so difficult to kill Dead Ringer spies, so I feel like this new resistance deterioration plot would really help with people actually being able to kill a Dead Ringer spy. Another thing that I would change is actually making it so that the Dead Ringer doesn't have the fire resist, and you may be like, what the fuck? Okay, so it wouldn't have the afterburn resist, and the reasoning behind this is you have a very big reserve of damage resistance for the first 2 seconds. Also, the only situation where I really had issues with me being immediately lit back on fire with the old Deadringer was because I couldn't get away from the pyro. I couldn't get away from him. Also, you shouldn't really be pulling up the Deadringer if you're getting WM1 in a straight line by a pyro anyway, so that shouldn't really be too much of a problem. But I would put it back to the way it used to be because, again, this would help other classes be able to better counter the Deadringer. Because right now it's like really, really hard for pyros to actually combat the Deadringer because it's just really, really ridiculous. And I think that if we rebuff the damage resist, which would really help spies, we need to help out pyros counter that by taking away the afterburn resist that the Deadringer gets while it's active. So I would take that out. I would probably kind of half and half reimburse that idea of not being able to extend your cloak. I think that a better way of doing it, instead of just saying you can't extend your cloak at all, period, would be you only get half the metal you would get normally when you're cloaked, which means it's much harder to extend your cloak. However, if you need to get away from the situation, or you just need to get further behind enemy lines, it is possible. And I think that would be much better for spies and not ridiculous. Like, it still wouldn't be practical to go stand on a dispenser, because the dispenser would have to be level 3 to actually sustain you. Or you could simply just make it so that it gets half from metal packs and nothing from dispensers. Like, you cannot recharge it with a dispenser while you're cloaked. So I think that would be a very, very fair way of doing it. And so there's only one other thing that was changed, which was the speed boost. I like the way the speed boost works, don't get me wrong. The video that was talking about the problem with speed boost was really just pointing out that you cannot outrun fire particles. It's not possible for you to, and how they were prioritizing the speed boost, which is like an extra bonus, over the resistance, which is the main purpose of the Deadringer. It would kind of be like making the focus of the Machina being able to collateral shot people, and then taking away something like being able to headshot. It would be really, really stupid. It would be like kind of functional, kind of workable, but dumb. Overall, it's just dumb, and I want to fix that. And so the polishing thing that I would do with the speed boost is, right now, there are these things in TF2 called ad conditions or ad cons. They are basically the effects and the special activities that certain items have on the player and on their abilities to do things. And right now, Valve literally just copy and pasted the ad con for the disciplinary action to the Deadringer, which has a couple of issues. It's really obnoxious every time you feign to hear like the whee, like the noise for when you get the speed boost, because it's like you're getting the speed boost because you just feigned. You don't need to be told you're getting the speed boost. I do think it is a good thing to hear the slowing down noise, because it gives you an audio cue for when you run out of speed boost, if you were trying to only be cloaked during your speed boost to conserve cloak metal or something. But in terms of the hearing it at the very beginning is annoying. Also, you get the HUD overlay effect of like running or whatever, which is accurate but really obnoxious for spies. Like, it's very, very obnoxious because it screws up your peripheral vision. And when you're trying to get away with the Deadringer, it's very, very important to have good peripheral vision. So I would just ask Valve to make a separate adcon command for that, for the Deadringer, so that you could actually properly get the speed boost, and also it wouldn't give you the particle effect thing, the trail effect, because that looks really, really weird. Anyway, this pretty much wraps up the video. If you agree with my thoughts, or my version of the Deadringer, let me know. If you don't, let me know. Also, both times, let me know why. You do or do not. Anyway, Thanks for watching. Leave your ideas or comments in the comments. I'll see you guys later.